Are we going live? Is how is this? Can you hear me? Is there anybody out there? Just not if you can hear me. Good. That's good. I like that. Okay, I think I'm live now. Hey Jeff, thank you. Glenn, Daniel. Is there anybody home? Now that's another question. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Do I need to put my glasses on?
Oh, there's some people there on the YouTube. Well, oh.
Let's see. Okay, good. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate it. Glenn, cool. Oh, that's funny. Yes. Happy New Year. Man Guy Dude, Deanna, Serene Bean. Nice to see you. I have, obviously at my new location, I have no internet whatsoever. So it's, well, I can't say whatsoever because occasionally my phone's plan will come into something. So it's just an occasional connection, however. So like it blinks in and out. So every once in a while I'll get a bundle of WhatsApp messages from my family, and then it goes out again for an hour or so. So it's cool. Hey, Scrubland. But I am alive. Alan says he was about to call strike 3. So I am sitting out at a resort by the beach right now, barring internet connection. No lights out here. Now there's a little bit light up here, but there. You can see that. Yeah. You guys, I just posted, for those of you that are on the tiny house expat living thing, let me put it here. I just posted a new episode here. Karen, you got the green thumbs and the Baphemus. Nice. I just added those. The green thumb looks really weird. It's got a box around it. I think I meant something wrong. Hey, Marcus Aurelius, welcome back. Karen, thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. So, so basically, you know, we moved in right before Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, the year before last, so almost precisely 1 year ago in a few weeks, we purchased the piece of land that we're currently living on. And then we had to get water on it and electric, and then we built. So we built, you know, a few little cabins. Some of you guys have seen some of the stuff that we've been doing along there. But I told Rachel, I said, look, it keeps getting delayed, us moving over, because we kept having problems, like the plumbing was exploding, and we figured out we needed a pressure regulator to stop the pipes from blowing up. So, you know, we bit by bit tried to get something here, and we're like, maybe next week, and then maybe next month, and we'll get it by the end of this month, and then we had a baby. We didn't expect to have a baby this year. That was an unexpected blessing. So, but a lot of things happened all around the same time, and I said, you know, we're not going to make it over to our land within a year, which would just be really a shame. So I told Rachel, I said, we got to do it. We have to just figure it out and do it. So we moved over, and I mean, like, you discover everything that's wrong when you're actually living at a place. You know, like, wow, you know, we really need a fridge. And, oh, wow, the cord is too short for the chest freezer to reach the wall. You know, that kind of thing. Or mud pools just outside this door, and it just gets tracked in like crazy. So we've been doing all that kind of, you know, making it comfortable and trying to make it livable. We had to buy a refrigerator. I had to hook up the washer and dryer. So you'll see a lot of that stuff in the new Tiny House Expat Living episode that I posted over at Unauthorized. But Zion Gardner says, Baphemus was my favorite thing you've done. You know, it's about my favorite too. Manga Dude says, be honest, you have no internet, so you broke into this one house and now you have to be quiet so you aren't discovered so you could stream from their PC. you're not far off. Deanna says, perfect timing. I'm sitting here starting my seats. Good work. Hey, Carolyn, good to see you too. So anyhow, we moved over, but I caught that tropical virus this last month. And we had Christmas and just so much stuff to do. And when you move out of a house, you have a ton of cleaning and work that needs to be done in order to make it tolerable, so you can hand the keys back over. You don't really know how much stuff is under a sofa until you move the sofa, And it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you kids owned that many Legos. Like, that doesn't even seem possible, that there's that many Legos still under the sofa. I thought we picked up all the Legos. No, there's no way. It's just amazing. Daniel says, David the Good or anyone have any idea where I can get a grafted rambutan to grow in a greenhouse, or should I just try to grow from seed? I would get a grafted one if you could. I think rambutan has male and female versions. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but they also have a long juvenile period, like 8 years or so. I would still plant them from seeds. It's kind of awesome. But if you can get a grafted one, try Just Fruits and Exotics. Look up Just Fruits and Exotics. I think that's what it's called. They're up in Tallahassee. Just Fruits and Exotics. Let's see if we can find that. I did get my beard a trim. I actually had to make a mirror, though, because I couldn't see my face for the first couple of weeks I was at the new place. I had to actually get a mirror. It was kind of fun. But gardening. Gardening is getting exciting. Now, I did things exactly backwards because I was building during the rainy season. Like, can you believe that? I was building during the rainy season, and now I'm about to start gardening as the dry season starts, which is kind of ridiculous. So we built in the rain, but now I'm going to try and garden when it's not raining. So tomorrow I'm going to film a big 1-hour presentation for the Grow Network spring summit thing that I always do with Marjorie Wildcraft. And I'm going to film how to start your first vegetable garden on the cheap. So I'll use all the cheapest methods of gardening and feeding and weeding and how I double dig and all that stuff. And so tomorrow I'm going to film this big old demonstration thing and hopefully get all the filming done in one day. But I had one of my sons spend the last couple of days clearing a big area out of the brush so I could go over and plant it. And now that I've got the plumbing situation fixed, I think I should be able to run irrigation down there. It's still, city water that's being piped up, so it's got the chlorine and the fluoride in it. We do not have water catchment set up yet. I know that as soon as I post a video showing the house, everybody's going to be like, where's your water catchment? Or why don't you have this? Why don't you have this? Why did you? Like, it takes serious time to get that stuff done. Why isn't there all the slats on your compost pile yet? I just didn't get to it. I spent one day just doing trim on the house, that kind of thing. And then you spend the next day just doing trim on the house. And finally you have trim on the house, but then you spend the next day caulking all the trim, and then you spend the next day priming, and then you spend the next day painting. So it's like chick, 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 chick. All these pieces have to follow pieces. So, as it is right now, we don't even have a working driveway down to the house. We just have like a muddy path. I can't drive the car down. I've got to park at the road and then walk down 200 feet, which is fine. But I probably would put a driveway in before I put water catchment. But all that back to the gardens. The gardens are going to be coming. I'm going to really start putting in beds tomorrow. I figure if I'm going to film this presentation, I might as well film this presentation and then start putting the garden beds in one after the other. Just starting there. We actually bought transplants today, so it's coming. But I'll actually have something to show you guys soon on the gardening front. It'll be really fun. Kama says, good to see you. Don't get me started on Legos. My feet still bear the scars. In the Lego movie where the mom steps on a Lego and it's like she's going to die, that was funny. Bad Drivers of Columbus, Georgia says, how much do you think a young Satsuma tree should cost? Probably about 40 bucks. Carolyn says you need to build them a play cabin next so they can play with their Legos. You know, I think they have enough Legos they can build their own cabin. Serene Bean says, I just seeded my annual garden here in Guam. Guate? Oh, yeah. Guate. In dry season too, but drip irrigation helps a lot. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I didn't usually use drip irrigation in Florida because I was always knocking it around with the hoe or cutting them on accident with my machete, or the squirrels would chew holes in it, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I just don't have the patience for it. I like to do standpipes with PVC and just crank it up and make it rain. That's what I need to do. Just run PVC and put standpipes up. That's what I'm going to do. I forgot about that. I was thinking I was going to hand water. Nah, I won't do that. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Pat. Nice to see you, too. Alan, I've missed you, too. I have really missed doing the live thing, and I've got to figure out how I can try to do it once a week, at least. Not having internet makes it difficult. But fortunately, a lot of my neighbors are very trusting, so I can just break into their houses just like I'm doing right now. Gambit says, how's the latest edition? Hey, latest edition, how you doing? Come over here and say hi. Come here, baby. Oh, you're made of cuteness. Oh, crazy eyes in the dark. Latest edition is doing great. She's sitting over there with Mom. You have the hiccups? Oh, you do. Let's see. Okay. Johnny says, okay, well, let's see. Yorkshire, UK here, 22:45 hours, 6 degrees C outside. I don't know what it is outside right now. It's probably about 25 or so. See, got those crazy eyes? I like it. It's really funny. Like, if you wake up in the middle of the night and the baby's just laying there in her little bed, staring like this, that always cracks me up. Babies are hilarious. Jan says, I've been prepping my garden, getting ready to plant my sweet peas and potatoes. Oh, that sounds like fun. I have got kale, cauliflower, some pak choi, a couple other things I picked up today, and then some seeds I'm going to start. Here you go, sweetheart. Take this, Bobby.
Just a second.
See ya. Thank you for the help. Hugh says, I'm a big fan of the black PE pipe. You know, I've never used that. I took a system apart once for somebody. Mary says, Mary from Florida here. You sure grown big. Oh, milk fed. Latest edition, got Dad's nose. Yeah. She's got a good nose. It's pretty funny. About half of my kids have brown hair, and half of them have like white blonde hair. It goes back and forth. And it looks like she's going to have the brown hair, but it's hard to say right now. The funny thing is when I do garden beds is as soon as I clear a new spot, like 4 kids want to plant gardens. And so I keep clearing new areas, and then the kids will go and dig it. Like, kids have already dug multiple areas today. Actually, one of my sons, 9-year-old, planted his own pumpkins. We found a pumpkin on the land that was rotten. It had started itself, and then we didn't find it in the brush until it had already rotted, but it looked like a nice, thick-fleshed orange pumpkin. Just already had bugs in it, unfortunately. So I said, hey, you want seeds from this? You can go plant them. Looks like it's already well adapted to the land. So he took the seeds out, and he dug 2 little hills and planted them. They're all coming up. They look great. So, Scrubland says, any more soap nuts pop up? No, I only seem to have 1. I think some of them rotted. Some of the ones I planted, I soaked them in water, and I think I might have soaked them too long. I'm kind of disappointed. But at least I'll have one. Uh, she hasn't started pulling her weight in the garden just yet. We'll see what happens tomorrow. See, Rachel is my camera woman, and so tomorrow she's going to be trying to film me do all this demonstration. So we'll see how the baby does with the demonstration. It'll be interesting. Like you'll hear a lot of baby crying and cooing and that sort of thing in the background of upcoming videos. Though, speaking of soap nuts, I have so many interesting things right now sitting in my nursery, like stuff that I had planted on the patio. The brush in the food forest totally overran a lot of the trees in there, and I had to go and free them up. Now, my oldest son, I put him to work with a machete and a string trimmer to clear some of the bottom area to do annual gardens with, but I don't dare put him in the food forest because I'm like, okay, cut down to here, and then you see those wild papaya trees, don't knock those down. Just leave those. And watch out for this, and watch out for this. So he just runs right down the whole hill, and he's like, papayas? I didn't see any papayas. I'm like, ah. And, so he's like really gotten very strong, and he's taller than I am, which is crazy because he's only 15. But he's really strong, and he's pretty fast. So, but the thing is like he does not see plants like I see plants. He's not a plant guy. He just is like right through, clear everything down to the ground. So, yeah. Scrubland says, I hope it's hermaphrodite. The soap nuts come in male, female, and hermaphroditic forms, and you need the females will bear, if they have a male, the hermaphrodites bear. They're self-pollinators. So, hey, Arch Enema, nice to see you. Scott says, hey, David, what is your go-to citrus potting mix for young trees? I would go for a potting mix that is light and loose and doesn't have much peat in it. Grittier is good. Like probably if you took like orchid mix or something like that, or a lot of perlite and mixed it with a little bit of regular potting soil, so it's got a little bit of peat in it, that would probably be fine. They will do okay in loose potting soil, but they do not like it when it gets too wet. They can't stand that. They start to turn yellow. Yay, nice to see you too. Hugh says, my son-in-law had a nice pumpkin patch this past year from throwing Halloween pumpkins behind a fence. That's exactly the way to do it. Yeah, it is the ocean. I am standing right near the let's see, where I'm sitting. I'm sitting about 60 feet from the surf. It's really nice and breezy tonight. It's been very cool being we're near the coast and it's winter. Back to the stuff. The stuff that I have, like I have Pereschia, which is a flowering edible cactus, and I've got a bunch of cocoa plums that came up from the seeds that I picked when I was out with my sister in that cocoa plum video. They take like 2 months or more to germinate. They're really slow to get started, but I planted a couple of seedlings in front of our laundry room, like a bush on either side, which looks really cool. And I've got some variety of Poteria, which is a relative canistel. It like makes a small canistel type fruit that I found growing wild. And it's edible, but I have no idea exactly what species it is, but I planted some of them anyways. I've got sugar apples going. I've got more chocolate pudding fruit from the Florida Food Forest. I've got the black Suriname cherries, which I'm really excited about. And I've got some stuff that I air layered, like a ackee tree and a mango tree. Some of these things are just waiting in pots for me to plant. So as I clear through the food forest, I'm going to plant them into empty spaces. Some stuff died that we initially planted, which is fine. It always happens. It's mostly from cuttings and seedlings, so I'm not really that worried about it. I don't really have anything invested per se. So bit by bit, um, that'll be getting planted out towards the edges as I clear and free up what's already there. I mean, there's some stuff like the West Indian locust I planted up there is looking really good. Mammy Sapote is looking good. The Balimbi is looking awesome. Oh, the Balimbi's awesome. Dark mode, yeah, that's right. The Domestead says, I know you make goofy music and play a clown with sound, but I bet you have written some decent songs as well. I like to think so. I made a resolution this year to record an album, and I finally have a nice space of my own that's moderately quiet, good enough to record in. My little office is very nice for recording, and there's some stuff I really want to do. So I am going to record an album this year. It's on my list, and I have some songs that are pretty cool. I think not all jokes. Hopefully, still entertaining and catchy. Lance says I found 5 or 6 probably longan trees in the gulch. I live on top of. Any suggestions of transplanting the smaller ones? If they're not actively growing, like if they have hardened off leaves and they're not like just bursting into a new round of growth, they tend to transplant better than if they're actively growing. If they're actively growing, the tops of them tend to die off. You might kill them. I don't know how well longans transplant. My guess is probably not all that well, but I would dig as deep as I could. If they're in a shady area, make sure you shade them again. Even if you build a little tent over them or something when you transplant them, that can help anyways. If you're in a place with palm fronds, you build a little palm frond tent so they're only getting a half of the sun or less than they would normally get when you transplant. If you know that you have a stretch of rainy days, it's a really good time to transplant, and just keep the hose trickling on them as often as you remember it, so they don't ever, all the way dry out. Hey, Gabriella. Hey, Bruce and Bear. Thank you. Yes, I'm back. I am borrowing an internet connection since I do not have one at my house. And I'm getting ready. I finally got my office set up. You know, when you move, you lose everything. I lost camera parts. I was like, where's this part? Where's my card reader? Where's this cord? Where's my extra drive where I store my video files, all that kind of thing. So I am getting that together. Hey, new member. Hey, David, welcome. Thank you. You can use the machetes now. You get the machete emoji, the green thumb emoji, and the Baphemus. I love the Baphemus. It's kind of funny. I don't know. It just cracks me up. Yeah, so I built a desk. I didn't even have a desk. I had to build a desk. And then the desk that I built, Rachel took it and used it for a table for the kids to sit at under the lumber area that I built for lumber. So the lumber area ended up like a kid's breakfast nook. And so I built another desk. And the other desk was a little smaller, so it fits into the room better anyway. So it was it actually worked out really well. So if my stream suddenly dies, it's because I only have 5% left on this MacBook. Eventually, we're going to burn through it. I'm going to turn my screen down a little bit, dark as it goes. So I am going to try and do live streams once a week if possible. I have a couple of options for internet, just not at my own house. But the video editing station is up and working again, so that's why I edited the new video for Unauthorized and posted it, but I've got videos coming soon for YouTube again. This is a dead time of year, so I appreciate you guys being really patient and still hanging around. And I mean, even at Unauthorized, I still picked up a couple of members, despite the fact that I hadn't posted anything in a month. So thank you for that, the support there. So much appreciated. Anyhow, I am going to call it a night because I'm going to run out of net. But I wanted to just say hi and thank you guys. Much appreciated. and I will be back on again, hopefully before too long. I tried to do maybe do a Friday night thing or something. So have a great weekend. Got some stuff coming soon, and until next time, may your thumbs always